Hey everyone. So I just got over the tail end of a fever, and by that I mean I'm still having a fever, I'm just better than before. I want to go over my Deva deck. So something that I found out when I was making the Deva deck, I really did not like FangLongmon. I kept bricking with FangLongmon in hand, and I also kept bricking with the cardinal option, that 15 cost option that will reduce by 1 cost for each sovereign or Deva with a unique name in your trash. So I really did not like FangLongmon. I really did not like that option. The worst thing that can really happen is if you have two FangLongmons in hand and like the option in hand. Like there's not much draw power in this deck. So after some playtesting, I just decided to remove FangLongmon from my deck. Because I removed FangLongmon, I also removed the options, and because I'm not playing FangLongmon, I also removed the analog Uves, so that freed up 12 card spots for my deck. So once you see this deck, you will see that it is more focused on just cheesing out Devas and Blast Digivolving. Because I'm not playing any FangLongmons, everything in this deck is budget. Everything is rare or lower. So that's a nice effect of removing FangLongmons. I just don't like FangLongmons, so I chose to remove them. But let's go through the deck profile video. I'm playing 4 copies of Mother D Reaper. Again, because I removed FangLongmon, I do not have any of the white options in this deck. So I don't have the 1 cost option. I do not have the 15 cost option. Mother D Reaper is just in this deck to act as raid fodder, and also for the Antilamon EX4 with Alliance. But yeah, Mother D Reaper is the egg of choice. It doesn't hurt to push Mother D Reaper out, unless you're playing against Blue Flare. So the more Digimon that you have out, the more you will be punished. But in most situations, Mother D Reaper is just really good raid fodder, and you will see why, especially in this deck. Mother D Reaper is good raid fodder. But also a 23,000 2-check Antilamon is also really good. So this is going to be very different. I am playing 4 copies of Sindoramon, 4 copies of Katuramon, and 4 copies of Makuramon. So again, you might be thinking, well, this is weird. Why are you playing 4 copies of each? So I do really like Blocker. All of them have the inheritable Blocker. So once you blast Digivolve on top of them, or if you have any of your level 6s on top of them, you can block. So when your opponent attacks, they activate their when attacking effect. Then you activate your when opponent attacks effects. And then you blast Digivolve. And then during blocker timing, you can then block. So I really like having blockers in this deck. So all of them have the same on play. On play, draw 1, and then you can place a Deva with a unique name that is not on your field or in your trash into the raising area. And honestly, having 4 of them doesn't really hurt you. So basically, let's say I already have a Katuramon in trash, right? So you might be thinking, well, I can't play another Katuramon by effect, but I can play out Katuramon and then play something else by effect. So it doesn't really hurt you that you are playing 4 copies of these, because if you can't play Katuramon by effect into raising, you just play out a different Deva that you have. Actually, no, I said that wrong. You play out Katuramon, and then you play out a different Deva in raising. So honestly, them being at 4 doesn't really hurt you. And because I'm not playing FangLongmon, I don't really care about getting unique named Devas in the trash, because I'm not playing Analog Youth. I'm not filling my trash unnecessarily with Devas. So there's really good chances that, you will not have too many different unique names in trash, which is a benefit to this deck. So, for example, Indramon, if I do not have Indramon yet in trash, but I have a Katoramon in trash, I can just play out Katoramon on play out Indramon in raising. Doesn't matter if I have a Katoramon in raising, because I'm not playing out a different one by effect. So basically, if you have a duplicate in trash, just play the duplicate from hand, and then play something else into your raising area. But basically, yeah, that's the on-play of all of the EX5 Devas. I am playing different Devas, but of the EX5 Devas, that's the on-play. All the black Devas have inheritable blocker if you have 4 Sovereigns or God Beasts in trait. And then this one they all have unique effects. This one has Decoy, Deva, or 4 Sovereigns trait. This one has blocker on the actual card itself. And then this has the effect where your opponent cannot suspend any 2-cost or less Tamer on their turn. I'm playing 4 copies of Indramon. So Indramon is really good. What you find with this deck is that there's not really a draw engine. You don't really digivolve from a level 2 to level 3 to level 4 in the back. So you will find that there's not much drawing happening. So I really like Indramon because the game plan of this deck is just to swing with your Devas turn after turn. On deletion, Indramon will draw 1 card. And all of the red Sovereigns have security attack +1 if you have God Beasts or 4 Sovereigns in trait. Whoops. 4 copies of EX4 Intillimon. Intillimon is really good. So, since this is not an EX5 Deva, it will not have the on-play. Play out a different named Deva from field or trash. It's like something that you do not have a name of on field or trash into raising. So what I like to do is you just play out any of the EX5 Devas. So I'll play out something like Makuramon, and then I'll play Intillimon into raising area. Intillimon has 3 really unique effects on it, but the main effect that I really care for is Alliance. So getting Alliance is really good. So if you are able to push Mother D Reaper out, you can get a 23,000 DP 2 security attack Digimon when you suspend Mother D Reaper for Alliance. Even if you do not have Mother D Reaper out, if you have any of your other Devas, oh cool, they're 7,000 DP, but they might die in security battle. You will be able to Alliance your other Deva. So instead of 7,000 DP and 8,000 DP, it'll be a 2-check 15,000 DP attack. So even if you don't have Mother D Reaper, it's still really good to alliance with your other Devas. So then they have more livability. End of attack, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, recover 1 from deck. End of attack, once per turn, if you have another suspended Digimon in play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP for the turn. So that inheritable doesn't really matter too much. You aren't really going to be deleting a bunch of Digimon with 2,000 DP or less. But if you have a 4 Sovereign over Intillimon, so you can attack with a Deva, you attack with the 4 Sovereign on top of Intillimon, and then you will be able to activate that inheritable. So if it matters, it's just helpful. But honestly, I really like this because of the alliance and potentially recovering 1. I'm playing 3 Kumhiramon. So again, what this deck really needs is a draw engine. Indramon on deletion will draw 1. Kumhiramon, all turns, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, draw 1. So after they activate their 1 attacking effect, then you will activate this effect to draw 1 from their Digimon having suspended. So that's nice. If you have several Kumhiramons on field, then you can draw potentially 2 cards. So if you have 2 of these on field, you can draw 2. But even if you just have the 1, you can attack security. If this lives, your opponent will attack next turn, and then you will get the draw if this is not removed from field. But that is a really nice effect, just to add some more draw power to the deck. I really like... Oh, also the green Devas have piercing. I really like my Hiramon from EX5. So the inheritable, when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has the 4 Sovereigns or God Beast trait, gain 1 memory. That inheritable is not really that beneficial, but what is really beneficial is your turn, once per turn, when one of your Digimon is played, trash the top Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. So similar wording to the EX4 Gaussmon. Because you are playing the Digimon, it will see itself enter play. So even if you don't play a different Digimon, you can just play Mahiramon, and they can strip the top source from one of your opponent's Digimon. So this is really good. Potentially, you can have 2 of these on field, or even if you have the 1. If you have just 1 on field, you play another one, then you will be able to trash top 1 card from 1 of your opponent's Digimon twice, or from 2 of their Digimon. But that is really neat. Just being able to trash sources is pretty nice if it comes up. I'm playing 2 copies of Vajramon. So your turn, once per turn, when you use an option card with a cost of 1 or more, gain 1 memory. So this is pretty neat. I am playing more options in this deck just because I have basically 12 flex spots after removing Analog Youth, FangLongmon, and the 15 cost option. If you consider the 1 cost option being removed, that's basically 16 free spots. They can add whatever you want in this deck. So I am playing more options. So this is nice, just in case you want to reduce the net cost of your options. So you play something for 6 memory, but then you get 1 memory refunded back. So basically your 6 cost option is net 5 costs. So that's really nice. I should also mention that I like Kamhiramon and Vajramon because you do have piercing, and this will come up in a bit. 2 copies of Pajiramon. So on deletion, if your opponent has a Tamer, gain 1 memory, which isn't horrible. It doesn't really help this deck too much, but if the goal of this deck is just to keep swinging. If you swing, and then this is the way they have a Tamer, get 1 memory back. So if you have a memory setter, you're at 3. If you gain 1 memory back, you're at 4. You can play a 7 cost Deva, put your opponent to 3 instead of to 4. So getting an extra memory can be helpful. So it's not as good as the other Devas, but it's still good enough to run 2 of. Okay, so we have 4 copies of Abanumon Ace, the Black Turtle of the North. So this is really nice. This can digivolve from all of your level 4s, or level 5s for 3 memory, because they have Deva and trait. So even if you don't blast digivolve, this is why Vajramon and Kumhiramon are really good. So for example, you have memory center, you start your turn at 3. Digivolve onto one of your green Devas, and then when digivolving, for each of your Digimon with a Deva or 4 Sovereign trait, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then during your opponent's next unsuspend phase, all of their Digimon can't unsuspend. So because your green Devas have piercing, once you digivolve on top of them, and then you suspend some Digimon with Abanumon Ace's effect, you can then swing over their Digimon with piercing, so this is nice. Even if you don't have green Devas, you can just blast digivolve or digivolve regularly, or even play this from hand for 7. And then you can suspend several of their Digimon, and then their Digimon don't unsuspend during their next turn. So this is a really good defensive card, as well as an offensive card in case you do have piercing. On deletion effect, delete one of your opponent's suspended Digimon. So this is really nice. In case your opponent attacks you, you blast Digivolve on top of one of your black Devas. This will then enter blocker timing. And then you can block if this is deleted. Let's say you block a 13,000 or higher Digimon. This is deleted. Your opponent having attacked is suspended. So then you can delete their Digimon. This has overflow -4. But honestly, if you just use this as a removal, Digivolve, then block, it's not horrible for overflow -4. And also their Digimon next turn can't unsuspend during unsuspend phase, so that's also really nice. 4 copies of the Azure Dragon of the East. So again, this also has an on play, and when Digivolving, all of your 4 Sovereigns can Digivolve for 3 over your Devas. So on play, when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the hand, then unsuspend one of your Digimon with the Deva, or 4 Sovereign trait, or 4 Great Dragons trait. On deletion, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. So, for example, if you attack with a Black Deva, your Black Deva is alive, and then your opponent's turn, they attack, you can blast Digivolve on top of one of your Devas for 3, or like for 0. You draw a card, and then you can target this card, unsuspend it, so now it has blocker. Or you can even, if you don't have a, if the Black Deva that you Digivolve on top of is not suspended, you can unsuspend one of your other Digimon, so then they have slightly more protection that turn. But yeah, being able to remove level 5 or lower is nice. Being able to unsuspend a blocker to have blocker is nice. This is also offensive. So, for example, you swing with a Deva, and then you have the memory setter, so you're at 3. Digivolve for 3, and then unsuspend it, and then attack again. So this is nice for another second attack. So basically, you can reuse a Digimon already in play, Digivolve for 3, unsuspend it, and then attack again. So this is a quote-unquote hybrid for game. Three copies of Zhu Xiaomon. I don't like Zhu Xiaomon as much as Abanumon or FangLongmon, but this can come up. And I just want more Blast Digivolve targets, so I decided to add Zhu Xiaomon to the deck. This does not have an on-play effect. It has when Digivolving when attacking, once per turn. By deleting one Digimon with the Deva trait or 6,000 DP or less, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. On deletion, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. So this is still good. You blast Digivolve, you can potentially delete 6,000 DP or lower. You don't really want to delete your Devas once you blast Digivolve, because you get security attack +1, but it doesn't matter on your opponent's turn. But if you blast Digivolve, you could potentially get rid of something, so that's nice. It's not as good as Abanumon or FangLongmon for the deck, but you know, if it does come up, it's neat. On deletion, delete highest DP Digimon. So this is nice, just as extra removal. I'm not playing any of the Baihumon, because in my opinion, Baihumon is not as good as these Devas. Abanumon, FangLongmon, very good. Zhu Xiaomon, slightly less good than these two in my opinion, especially since it doesn't have the on-play. But Baihumon doesn't really have removal when it comes into play. So I don't really like Baihumon as much. So I'm basically just running 4 Abanumon, 4 FangLongmon, and 3 Zhu Xiaomon. 1 Zhu Xiaomon is a flex spot, so you can replace it with a different card. I'll go over some recommendations later. 3 copies of Sardec 15, Taikamiya. So this is really where the deck shines. I'm playing 12 different blocker and heritable Digimon. So once you Digivolve into one of your level 6, you will be able to block quite often. Because you are blocking and your level 6s are only 12,000 DP, they might want some extra DP. So this is where Taikamiya comes into play. When an attack target is switched during either turn, suspend Tai to draw one card and give one of your Digimon plus 2,000 DP for the turn. So you can turn your 12,000 DP blocker into a 14,000 DP blocker. This also makes Mother Reaper much more resilient against raid decks. So once your opponent attacks, and then they switch attack target with raid into Mother Reaper, suspend Tai, draw one card. Now Mother Reaper is a 17,000 DP Digimon. So that's also neat. So this is my Tamer of choice, just because I want to go on a more blocker-focused deck. And also because, again, there's not too much draw power going on. So Taikamiya is pretty good for the deck in case your opponent attacks you while you have a level 5 Black Deva on board. You blast Digivolve, and then you block, so then you can get that extra card draw and extra DP. So this is just really nice for the deck. For 3 copies of Trident Arm. So Trident Arm, really good removal card. So main effect, D-Digivolve 3 one of your opponent's Digimon. Until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gains start of your main phase, this Digimon attacks. So this is mainly here, just in case you are playing against a deck like Machine Dramon, where it can't really be affected by DP minus. Or if you just want to make a level 6 or a level 7 Digimon weaker, so then you can more easily remove them, because since you are making them attack and you are playing 12 Digimon with blocker and heritable, it's pretty likely that you will de-Digivolve them until they are low enough Digimon, and then you will be able to successfully block them. And once you block them, you can then activate Taikamiya for the extra card draw. So yeah, I really like Trident Arm. Security effect, D-Digivolve 3 one of your opponent's Digimon. So just to clarify, D-Digivolve X. So once you D-Digivolve 3, you are allowed to Digivolve 1 card, 2 cards, or 3 cards. So D-Digivolve 3 is you can choose how many cards you want to D-Digivolve their Digimon. So in case they have a level 6, and then their level 3 has an on deletion, you could instead choose to D-Digivolve 2, so then they go back to level 4, instead of D-Digivolve 3, so they get the on deletion when their level 3 attacks, and then you block. So that is something nice to know. Then 3 copies of Heaven's Judgment. So 7 costs. While you have a green Digimon or Tamer in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements. So this is why I'm playing a bunch of green Digimon in this deck. So Vajramon, 3 Kumhiramons, 4 Intillimons, 4 Abanwamons, but I also have 4 yellow Digimon, 4 FangLongmons. So 1, 2, 5, 9, 13, and then 17 Digimon. So 17 Digimon that you can have in play and then use Heaven's Judgment. Main effect, activate the effect below. For each color your Digimon have, activate it again. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6,000 DP for the turn. But because you are playing white, black, red, green, yellow, purple, and blue, then you have all 7 colors in this deck. So you could potentially minus 48,000 DP on your opponent's Digimon. But realistically, even if you get this 2 or 3 times, then that's also really nice. Most likely you will get this, 3 times. So 1 for the actual card itself. And then if you have 2 different colors on the field, 2 more times. But yeah, this is a really nice card. So again, 4 of each of the Black Deva, 4 Indramon for the card draw, 4 Intillamon, 3 Kamhiramon, 3 Mahiramon, 2 Vajramon, 2 Bajiramon, 4 Abanwumon, 4 Azulongmon, 3 Juchalmon, 3 Takamiya, 3 China Arm, and then 3 Heaven's Judgment. Yeah, I'm sorry about my voice. I'm just still getting over the fever. But I want to go over some combos. So, for example, if you have Takamiya in your opening hand, it's not horrible to hatch Mother D Reaper, play Takamiya, so you have the memory setter in play, and you don't pass too much memory to your opponent. Turn after, you push Mother D Reaper out, so you have Mother D Reaper in play now. So later on, once you play Intillamon, you are ready for that 23,000 DP security attack plus 1. I did mention how Juchalmon is one of them is a flex bot. I honestly think that just having 10 level 6s is good. I have an extra one just in case I need it. But if you don't want to run the 3rd copy of Juchalmon, I would recommend either to add in another Vajramon or add in another Takamiya. Takamiya, an extra one, so then you can play this on turn 1. It's not necessary to hatch Mother Reaper, play Takamiya on turn 1. But if you do have a memory setter on turn 1, you can hatch Mother Reaper and not feel like you're wasting an action, and then play out Takamiya. You don't really want to hatch Mother Reaper, then play out a Deva, because when you play out the Deva, you can't play out a different egg in raising. So it seems counterintuitive, but you can hatch Mother Reaper, play Takamiya. So you have the memory setter in play. Once you block later on, you can get 2,000 DP and card draw. And you have the Mother Reaper, so then later on when you play Intillamon, you can push it out and then get 23,000 2 checks. But yeah, Juchalmon, I would recommend you take out 1. So you can put in another Takamiya, so you have 4 copies. Or you put in another Vajramon, so you have 3 copies. Vajramon is still nice. This is also the order that I like the Devas in. So 4 Sinduramon, 4 Katoramon, 4 Makuramon, because the blockers are probably the best Devas you have. Indramon, because this draw is really, really good. For Intillamon, this is probably the next best Deva to bring out. Kamhiramon, so they get more draw power. Mahiramon, so they can trash top source from your opponent's Digimon. And then 2 Vajramon, because playing an option for basically 1 less net memory is really good. 2 Pajiramon, just so when this is delayed, you get 1 memory if your opponent has a Tamer. Abanwumon, Azulongmon, I like both of them. This one is slightly more defensive. You can play this for 7, or you can Digivolve this and then suspend one of your opponent's Digimon for each Deva or Force Sovereign you have. Their Digimon don't unsuspend during the next unsuspend phase, so this is a nice card to stall out the game if you have to, or just suspending something so you can attack with piercing over it. This is also why I kind of recommend Vajramon as a potential card to add in after you take out a Juchalmon, just so they have more piercing and heritables. But that's not as necessary. I don't know what's going on with my camera, so I'm sorry that it's just blurry. Azulongmon, really good. If you have, just 1 missing swing for game, you have the Takamiya to set you to 3. Digivolve on top of your Deva, unsuspend it, and then attack for game. So this is really good. Juchalmon, not as good. But, it could come up. You could get that security attack plus 1. So it's still nice. It is still nicer than the Baihumon, in my opinion. So I would rather use the Juchalmon than the Baihumon. Takamiya is nice. You can increase the livability of your Devas. Once you block, or you are being blocked, or you're being raided into. So this is just a nice card to have. But this could also give you some draw for your deck. So I do like the tie for giving you that card draw. Trident Arm, just remove something that can't be DP minus. Or even if it can be DP minus, you can just de-digivolve it so it's not really a threat, block, and then combo of Takamiya, so you get some card draw. Heaven's Judgment is really good because you're playing a bunch of different colors. So being able to minus 6,000, minus 6,000, minus 6,000 over and over again is really nice. You can separate the 6,000. So you can minus 6,000 on one, minus 6,000 on another one, minus 6,000 on one, minus 6,000 on that same one again. But you can split it up in 6,000, minus 6,000 DP chunks. I might be forgetting stuff, but this is my deck. I really like it. It does have a bunch of 4-ofs, but again, because I'm not playing the options that care about unique names, it doesn't really matter. So I'm not playing FangLongmon, I'm not playing the Cardinal Beast option, I'm not playing Analog Youth, so that really cleared out a lot of space for me. Analog Youth is more of a detriment in this deck, because you don't really want to put your Deva in trash. If anything, you want to avoid having unique names in trash, because the more unique names that you have in trash, the more Devas that you can't play out by effects. But yeah, I really like the 4-ofs. Just having 12 different blocker inheritables is nice. The draw power is nice. Alliance is nice. Draw power, which is slightly less strong than Indramon's draw power. So the Kamhiramon is, you have to rely on your opponent attacking. Indramon, you can just get deleted and you can draw. So this is like more powerful than Kamhiramon, but this is still really good. Mihiramon, just so they can strip sources, which is nice. Net option cost reduction. This will give you slightly more efficiency, just in case it does come up. But yeah, this is my deck. I like it so far. But yeah, I wanted to post this for Lunar New Year, but I just got sick. So, I'm posting it now. So it's not too late, but yeah, this is my deck. And if you try it out, let me know how you like it.